Hey guys, Michael Player here with AISA Computers. That's AISAcomputers.com. Basically, I'm making this video to try to give you a basic overview of computers and how they work. Just try to get you started, and I'm going to be posting some more videos in the future that's going to be geared more to helping you repair a computer, simple problems that you don't have to call a computer repair guy for, and try to save you some money. I know everybody's trying to squeeze pennies, trying to save a dollar, so I'm just trying to do what I can to contribute to help you guys out. So if I can save you some money, then I can feel good about myself and what I'm doing. So I know I would like it very much if someone could save me a penny, so I just want to try to return that favor. Basically, I'm going to go over some of the components inside the computer. This is not an A+ certification video, so it's just going to be real basic. It's going to be geared more to people who are just know nothing about computers other than turning it on and clicking on the blue E, and if it doesn't work, they get mad and start fussing. So I want to try to give you guys a basic understanding of computers and how they work, a PC that you might have at home. These same principles are going to apply to a laptop with a few different things, but the basics are still going to apply to any computer, whether it be a tablet, whether it be a PC, whether it be a laptop, or any of those things, even a phone. You know, of course, there's more bells and whistles depending on which one you get, but the basics are still the same in any computer. So if you can understand these basics, then you can have a good grasp as to what's going on. So basically what we have here, the big board here is our motherboard. It's a big board that's inside of your computer. It's a lot of circuitry on, a lot of computer chips and transistors and circuits and different things, but there's a few components on there that we're going to deal with today, just 3 of those. And that is your RAM, your CPU, and the BIOS chip, as well as the ports here in the back where you plug in your sound and your keyboard and mouse and your microphone if you're doing any kind of recording or anything like that, and your monitor. So the motherboard used to, you had a motherboard, and then you had a sound card, a NIC, which is your network interface card or your modem that would allow you to connect to the internet, and your video card. Okay, so you had, and then you could have like real, and even today you can still get those cards if you wanted to spiff them up. But basically every motherboard comes integrated with that hardware integrated in with it, so you don't have to buy the motherboard and then buy a sound card separately and a video card separately and a modem separately and all this stuff. It all comes together, packaged together. And so nowadays these right here are non-existent for the most part, for the purpose of this video. You don't have to do that anymore unless you're a big gamer or doing some kind of video graphics thing or something like that. Alright, so RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It's Random Access Memory, okay? And this memory is very volatile, okay? This memory has to have an electrical charge in order for it to actually work. In order for it to store anything, it has to have an electrical charge. You take away that electrical charge, whatever memory is in there is totally gone. It doesn't store anything unless it has an electrical charge. So whenever you turn your computer off, that memory is completely wiped out. Okay. You have a hard drive, which there's a cable here that connects from your motherboard over to your hard drive. Now that's HDD, hard disk drive. And your hard drive is where your information, your pictures, your videos, your software, your operating system, all of this stuff is physically written on this hard drive, okay? So random access memory, a good way to know what that is when you boot up your computer and you're looking on your screen and you have your icons and your start menu and your Internet Explorer, your Chrome or Firefox, or whatever it is you're using, what you're seeing is what's inside of random access memory. So whenever your computer boots up, the CPU will turn to the hard drive and pull that information off of the hard drive and store it in RAM memory, and then it will then be distributed from there to whatever output it is, whether it be sound, it'll go out through your sound, your speakers. If it be your video, it'll go to your monitor, and of course your input, which is your keyboard and your mouse, or a microphone. Anything, an input is anything that puts information into the computer, and an output is anything that the computer puts out. Okay, an output would be your video or your sound, and an input would be your keyboard or your mouse, or a microphone if you have that. So here's your keyboard, and of course you have your mouse right here, and a little cord going over there to it. So your CPU is the main brain of the computer. It is what processes, takes in information, processes that information, and then makes decisions based upon whatever it is you're doing. So if you are clicking on a mouse or an icon, you double click on that icon, that electrical signal from your mouse enters into the motherboard, goes to the CPU receives that information, makes a decision based upon what you inputted, and then does its thing and spits out an output, whether that be opening up your web browser or closing a web browser or shutting down the computer, booting up the computer. Anything that is done is processed right here in your CPU. And the CPU is very critical. Now over here you have your BIOS, and your BIOS is basically a chip on there that whenever you boot up your computer, the software that's inside this BIOS is what kind of kickstart everything. It starts telling the CPU to wake up, and it'll tell the memory to wake up, and it'll tell the hard drive to wake up, and it'll tell the monitor to wake up, and get all these things, processes going. And then once that gets it going, the CPU then takes over and pulls information from your hard drive into your motherboard and into your CPU, and then your CPU starts booting up your computer. So the CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, and that's basically what it is. It's the central processing unit of your entire computer. And used to, they were about this big around, and today they're probably about that big around. So technology has really come a long way. And on top of that CPU and working and electricity coming in and out generates a lot of heat. So on top of that CPU you have a fan or a heat sink, and that heat sink is nothing more than a piece of metal with some fan or blades on it, and then a fan sits on top of that and it keeps your CPU cool. And I've seen a lot of problems with PC where this fan will quit working, or you get a lot of dust in there, and it'll cause your computer to do crazy things. So the very first thing to do if you're having any kind of computer problem is to take, if it's a PC, a tower, take the side of it off. Usually there's 2 screws in the back, and then you slide it, you kind of slide it this way to unlatch it, and it'll fall right off. And get you some compressed air from Office Depot and just blow all the dust out of it. A lot of times what happens if you have a chip, say on your CPU, and I'll try to draw a blow up. Let me use a different color here, kind of bring it out. Let's just say this is a blow up of it, and underneath it, well, let's do a side view. If you're holding it from the side looking at it, okay, it'd be really thin like this, and you know it's yay big around. If you was to pull it off, you'd see all these little bitty pins up underneath here, all these little bitty pins. It looks like a million little pins that go in there. And a lot of times that dust will kind of get in between these pins right here and cause a short. It will actually cause the electrical voltage to go from one pin to the other when it shouldn't. And then it'll cause your computer to flicker or lock up, or just all kind of weird, crazy things that can happen. So the first thing you do is just pull the side off of it, blow and clean it out really good, and watch your static, because static electricity, if you don't keep your hand on the case at all times while you're doing this, static electricity will build up. And when you stick your hand in there to do something and you shock the motherboard or any kind of computer component in there, it'll be fried. So be very conscious of static electricity. Most of us technicians have what they call a static strap. It's a wrist, goes around your wrist, and then it will attach to the case so that you keep static discharge at all time. You don't build up any static and zap a motherboard or a CPU or something like that. So be very mindful of static electricity, especially when you're blowing. You know, air blowing will generate static electricity. And that's really about it as far as the basic components of any computer. On a tablet, of course, it's all touchscreen, so your keyboard is still an input and it's still a keyboard, but it's no longer a physical keyboard, it's a software program. But the components are still basically the same. So that's basically it. You know, as far as this video is concerned, and what I wanted to cover in this video, I'm going to be posting more videos. And of course, if you guys are having any problems at home, you know, with your PC, before you call the computer guy, post a question on Facebook or on my website, asacomputers.com. That's AISA computers.com, asacomputers.com. Okay, you can go there, and if you're a business, on my website I have a free website. If you have a website, a free website critique, which is a $197 value, absolutely free to you, that I do as a complimentary thing to you. And I'll just look over your website, tell you where you're strong, where you're weak, or if you're strong in all areas or weak in all areas, and give you we'll work about 3 hours on this website and give you a good critique of where you stand right now and what you can do to further your website as far as getting traffic to that website and converting that traffic into customers. You know, a lot of companies will call different companies and tell, we can get you ranked in Google, but they get you ranked from some obscure keyword that nobody's searching for. So you just spent money with this company and you've been ranked for you know, something you didn't really want to be ranked for. So if you're a business watching this video, this is a very basic video, so I doubt any businesses will, but if you are, you can go to this website. Or if you're thinking about getting a website for yourself, for your church, or whatever you want to get a website for, check me out on my website. I'll be posting more how-to videos. I'm going to be posting a tutorial video on Windows 8, try to help you guys transition from Windows Vista and 7 to Windows 8. Also, I'll be giving a how-to on the Windows tablet, so keep an eye out for that. So basically, post any questions that you have, any problems that you're having with your computer, and if I can help you in any kind of way, I definitely will help you fix it without having to call me to come out there and fix it for you. So that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great day.